Hello and welcome to Ule Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Nine of Wands, which has everything to do with strength. All right, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. Okay, so immediately I'm looking at this and it reminds me very much of a person here with the head, the body, the legs, and it reminds me very much of our Venus of Willendorf back there, or one of the other kind of original mother goddess statuettes, right? And so immediately I'm just like, okay, so we have one of our old school primordial fertility goddesses. Okay, and next to them is it looks like a child. Okay, so that would make sense. And we have that display of strength here. Okay, and I think this is obviously the wands. We are dealing with fire. We are dealing with emotionality before anything else. Passions and the things that we care deeply for. Okay, so this feels like we're in a situation of either you are a parent or a caregiver of some kind, or this has to do with a mother figure or a caregiver in your life, right? And so I feel like if this was you with your parent, you with your maybe grandparent or mentor, or somebody who kind of helped raise you or did raise you, right? Through this relationship, through this guidance, there became a strength in you. I think really what comes out to me, what really kind of stands out in my mind as I'm thinking about this, is a sense of being listened to, being paid attention to, somebody who took their time with you, somebody who when you were playing or speaking to them, they would come down on your level. They'd get on the floor. They would talk to you face to face, look you in the eye and listen to what you were saying. This made you feel cared for. It made you feel like you had something worthwhile to say. You were a person of substance. And these are all true things, right? But I think that this relationship in particular, it really set you up to grow into a person, a being that has felt, I think, really the ability to trust yourself, to make decisions more often than not that are in your favor. Not as much maybe self-destructing as a lot of us others do, right? I think it gave you And I think I think that this is something that is probably that you have parented by, or you have treated others in the same way, but it is giving you the knowledge of how important it is that we treat others with respect, that we listen, that we care for those we love. We choose our words wisely. We don't tear people down for no reason or at all. I feel like you were maybe even like somebody in school where if somebody was being bullied, you would stick up for whoever it was. You know, you would get in the middle there. If there was a kid that was eating lunch by themselves, or, you know, nobody wanted to play with them because they weren't, you know, this or that or whatever, you would be the one to kind of bring them into the fold. You're very sensitive, probably very sentimental. You're also very powerful. And I feel like, you know, there's just this sense of doing whatever you have to do to take care of, to protect, to hold up and nourish those around you. I think you've given a lot of your time to other people. Sometimes it's felt like, you know, maybe pouring water into a bucket that's a hole in the bottom. You know, they don't take your advice. They don't take your help or make any, you know, they squander, right? A little bit. And that can feel like, I'm wasting my time. But it ultimately, we have to remember it's not about if it takes hold or not always. It's about the process. But I think you've put a lot into others. I also see we have a flower here, a beautiful flower. We have an arrow. I wonder if there is also love here. I could imagine that you would be in a relationship, at least finding at some point, right? Maybe you get married and divorced once or twice. Maybe, you know, you've had some failed relationships or not found the person that really feels like your person. But I do think that in this life cycle, there is that for you. I feel like you are somebody who just really loves so deeply. You are so passionate. And I feel like your energy is met. It will be met if it hasn't already. Okay, so we have a person standing here. We have a person standing there, and now we have another person standing here. I'm trying to see, what are they what do they have in between them? It looks like, I keep thinking, is this a jellyfish? What? This is a jellyfish. Okay. I imagine this, I look at this one and it makes me think of some kind of magical practitioner. Maybe some kind of in my mind, I'm thinking like some kind of like a medicine worker, but somebody who works in maybe fetish or magical, right? It's low magic. Folk magic, I guess, is what we should call it. I never liked the term low magic, really. I'm always like, I always like kind of snarl a little bit. Low magic, high magic. High magic would be like ceremonial magic, or things like astrology or higher, like certain kinds of divination. Whereas low magic is kind of folk magic, like herbalism and making things like sympathetic magic or fetish, like I had said, or just kind of what you would imagine like witchcraft or whatever, which I dwell in those zones way more. So, but I do, and I feel like it's somebody. It's coastal. It's the ocean. I'm thinking of the ocean a lot, but it's like like kind of swimming into your unconscious, and I feel like there's this feeling of something is there. You've had a hard time figuring out what this is. It feels like something that is lingering in your life. I almost feel like it's like you feel like you're being watched at times. Not creepy necessarily, but it's almost like, and I feel like it's like you're just turning away. I'm turning my head even as I'm thinking about this, because it's like I feel like, when you're like young, or well, even I do this sometimes as an adult even, but when I feel like there's an entity, especially at night when it's dark, and I can feel it visiting, passing through. And I can't look at it necessarily. I can see it out of the peripheral, right? But I don't want to look directly at it, because I know it won't be there, but I know it's there, right? And so I feel like it's almost like this, but it's hard to decide what this is. And it's kind of like you have to, you're looking for somebody to help pull this out, so you can figure out what is this thing, this energy in my life. And it really is, it's dwelling in, it's like it's trying to come out of that it's an abstraction, and trying to come through, and it's like a jellyfish, and then I'm thinking, okay, like, is this like like Cthulhu, right? Cthulhu, like the, I call it Cthulhu, my daughter. That's how she says it. But yes, Cthulhu. And like a cosmic horror, right? The anti-cosmic gods, the destroyer of worlds. And those are they're like octopus or squid face. And some of them, and that again, that's something that you can't look at. I always think of that was kind of like a deep primordial existential dread, like the undoing of the woven, right? And it's just beyond comprehension. And so I wonder, as we're talking about this and working through this, thinking, maybe there is a sense of just loss of some central meaning to life, the end of a belief, maybe coming to a place where something that maybe a religion or a belief system you grew up with or you had adopted. You know, and maybe you had not kept it up, but you always had remnants of it, you know, throughout your consciousness and life, and still, you know, believing without being super devoted to, or maybe even thinking about, maybe not even thinking about it that much. But then I think, you know, making a decision that this is not for me anymore. This does not serve me well, and this is not something that I can carry with me anymore. But see, when that happens, and I think that this does happen to a lot of us, there becomes an absence. If you think about it, I mean, it is the paradigm shift, the awakening, you know, these things we talk about. But when it actually happens and we begin to disbelieve, we begin to uncondition, there is often a gaping void that can be terribly frightening, destabilizing. And you must be mindful about what you fill that with, because that is our instinct, to grasp on to something else that makes sense. But we must be careful. We must be mindful, because it could lead to places that are so destructive. Move not in fear, right? Because it is scary. So I look at this and I feel, you know, there is a sense of almost kind of roving, right, in the spiritual realms, looking, trying to find something that feels solid. This I can hold. This I can feel. This I can taste and smell in it. And it tickles that part in my brain, my heart. And I know this is it. I know this is real. This is the thing. This is the truth, right? We must be careful. I'm not a cynic necessarily, but I'm wary. I'm also an absurdist, so I believe everything and nothing at the same time, right? So, you know, just be careful and choose things that accommodate the life that you want to live, right? Do not pack yourself with fear that just you live in dread and worry and anxiety about, you know, the end, and everything is doomed, and you know, these kinds of things. It's terrible. It is a mind prison. Yeah, maybe it is the end. Okay, what are you gonna do with it? You know, it's just, we have to be careful about what we choose for ourselves. So, let's see. Where are we at here? I want to find something blissful here. Let's see. Well, we did. The beginning, yes. And I think this all ties into it because, listen, when you are self-actualized, self-empowered, you're in a process of individuation. What it's about is dissolving beliefs. Taking the particles, the little fragments of, and reforming them into something for yourself. This is why I think it is so important to study widely, read a lot, experience beautiful things, haunting things. Go out and look at art. Go see nature. Be in nature. You are nature. Get dirty. You know, go to a pristine and sterile place. Go to the cathedrals and the mosques and holy sites and, you know, whatever. I mean, so many things. Go and try stuff. Just try it all as much as you can. And, you know, weave together something that makes sense to you. There's so much. There's so much for us. I mean, just so much. And we're only as limited as, you know, we let ourselves be. And you might think, well, money, right? Or are the circumstances of where we're at, or, you know. Well, we live in an era where most people have the internet. Most people have some kind of access to, hopefully anyways, books or libraries or whatever, at least in the Western world. And, you know, and it really is that we waste a lot of time on nonsense. And I don't mean, you know, I watch reality TV. I, you know, like poppy music, and along with a lot of other things. But, you know, I like stuff that isn't cool or is cool or whatever. And people would say probably you're wasting your time with these things. But that's not what it is. We waste our time finding reasons to feel bad. To feel insecure, to feel not good enough, to feel doomed and cursed and you know, like we have no options. Well, we do. And I know sometimes this is mental health related, and that's not what I'm talking about. If that, you know, if that's the case, I'm not going to be dismissive of any of, you know, sometimes we're just I understand. I have, you know, my own diagnoses, and I get it. Sometimes there have been months and years of my life where I was dang near unfunctional, right? Barely functioning. So I get it. I understand that aspect of it. But it's when, you know, it is when we have the ability to be doing things and with ourselves, figuring things out for ourselves, empowering ourselves, educating ourselves, creating our own reality. And we decide to spend it, you know, doing things that engaging in dramas in our life, fighting with people, arguing, you know, just feeling bad and expecting, you know, things that will not come to us, right? And then feeling destroyed over it. We can't live like that. The cat's over there. Little Pudgy is over there bothering the fish. He is obsessed with them. But we have a deer here. Okay, we have a stag even. You can see the antlers. And so we have a most blessed and sacred deer. Okay, and this is a sign of just intense strength, intense power. And I don't mean to spend this whole reading, preaching to you or whatever. I feel like that's not what I'm doing, although it does sound like that. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, but I feel like sometimes these readings, I just get this place where it's like, and this is true in life too, with people I love and my friends I care for. Sometimes people just need to hear, you are so wonderful. You are so powerful. You have so much potential to do so many things. And the signs tell me that. The thing that gets in the way is just this unknowing or not knowing how to begin or, believing what somebody, told you or made you feel bad, and the circumstances of our lives. But don't believe the hype. You have this. You have this. I don't think anybody could stop you. If you just, if you continue to do the things that you love and care about. Listen to yourself, your intuition. Like, really listen. What is your true will? All right. And I just want to point out, I also think that there is a Pisces person in your life. There's some kind of Pisces person doing something. Well, there's a dragonfly there. And I feel like this is a person who is very dreamy to you. Okay. I was looking, I'm like, the dragonfly to me is all about daydreaming. So I think that there's like a crush or, some kind of like profound attraction, love. Maybe you are even like married to this person. But I think that this is a powerful connection. Powerful. Ooh. No buns in the video, please. Come here. Can I hold you? Huh? Can I hold you, you little girl? Oh. All right. Let's see. What do we have, T? Okay. Okay, we have a person with their hand up. I feel like you're saying goodbye to somebody. Saying goodbye, like a hand here, hand, and waving goodbye. So I feel like maybe there is you're seeing somebody you don't often see. Maybe you've gone home where you grew up and you don't live there. But I feel like it's almost like saying goodbye to like mom or dad or a family member or somebody, maybe somebody older. But just, like we don't see each other enough. But you've made time to definitely go and be with them. And there's kind of just a little bit of sadness in having to go back to your regular routine here. I almost kind of wonder if this is in a dream. You know, have you ever had a dream where somebody who maybe has transcended or passed away, or left your life, you know, maybe you just don't speak to them anymore or whatever, but you have a dream about them, with them, it's not even just about them. It feels like they're there, right? You have a shared dream, and when you have to say goodbye in the dream, and you're, you know, maybe waking up, and that feeling of like, just, I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. I can't, you know, or you wake up and you're like, I want to get back into that dream. It's so painful to, you know, be pulled away. It feels like that when I'm seeing this. It's something like that. Okay, let's see. Now, we have the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. These are from Megan Watterson, illustrations by Moonjube. I'm just going to go ahead and flip through these. I'm going to stop right here. It says, the Anointed. I rise with only more soul. I rise with only more soul. Yes. One more. Let's do one more. This reading hasn't been long enough already. The Skull. Love has already won. Yes. Love. Love transcends all, doesn't it? It really do. Okay, so Libra, I want to tell you I love you. And I thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about that. Maybe, maybe subscribing. And let's see, what else? Oh, it is free to subscribe. And if you have not, oh no, that's exactly what I was just saying. Oh, let's see, what time is it? It's 11:26. That's why I'm, it's time for bed. Yes, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I love hearing from you. I love reading them. They absolutely just make me want to do these readings, even on the worst days where I'm like, oh, I just can't today. If I, drink a cup of tea and read some of the comments, which I do read them all, but I read some of the comments and then I'm right there. I'm back into the mode. So, yeah, if you want to leave a comment, please do. All right. So, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in just a few days from now. Be strong. Be strong. Remember yourself.